Over the last several years, a handful of community leaders from Bala, Ontario, have been working to create a model housing project that is both affordable and accessible. In this episode of The Life of a Servant, we feature two of these people, Scott Aitchison, the Member of Parliament for Parry Sound-Muskoka, and the host of this program, Dennis Mills, who served for 16 years as the Member of Parliament for Toronto Danforth. In this episode, Scott and Dennis describe the Bala Legion Heritage Manor, which is planned as a 134,000 square foot, 128-room assisted living and long-term care facility for people over the age of 55. This project is needed in the community and should have been a no-brainer. Yet, even with the assistance of former and currently serving members of Parliament, each from different political parties, the project confronts bureaucratic and administrative delays.
Hi, Scott Aitchison here. I am standing next to the legendary Dennis Mills, former Liberal Member of Parliament for Toronto Danforth for 20 years, Dennis? 16 years. And we're actually on the Bala Legion property in beautiful downtown Bala. And Dennis has a great project that he's been working on, and I want Dennis to tell everybody about it.
So, Scott, first of all, welcome to the Bala Legion. For 6 years, our team here at the Legion has been working on building a 128-room building for seniors. We've been trying to get it executed, and everybody loves the project, but we can't seem to get it done. And I'm happy to be with you today because I know over the last 2 years, since you got elected, you put your shoulder to the wheel, and we could almost say it's a bipartisan effort to work for the whole community and the whole country.
And this is one of the things I love about this project, and particularly working with you. Solving problems is why we run for public office. It's about fixing things and making life better for Canadians. And I'm not hung up on ideology when it comes to housing. And this has been the frustrating thing for me, and particularly having been working with a former Liberal Member of Parliament, working with the current government. Everybody thinks it's a great project, and yet we just can't seem to get it done. And that's been my frustration all along.
More and more people seem to be getting into public life today, and they're forgetting the fact that you're there to speak for those that don't have a voice.
Yeah.
And the people that need access to affordable housing, they don't seem to have a voice.
You know, it's important for people to know that this is one of many projects in all over Parry Sound-Muskoka where, the groups have been working for a long time trying to get something done. I know that the South Muskoka Community Living has just given up on their project. And it was the federal agencies that they just couldn't get past. And so it's been a real frustration that feels like there's been a lot of promises, but not enough action, particularly in rural Canada. And so that's why I think it's important that, bipartisan efforts continue and we make sure we get these projects done, because it's not just ticking a box off. It's real lives hanging in the balance.
Well, Scott, you touched on something there that I think is very important. The major markets tend to get all the media.
Yeah.
And those of us who are in rural Ontario, it's tough to get the center to listen to us.
Right. You have some drawings. Let's take a look at some of those drawings.
Okay. Great.
All right.
This is
the current building.
This is the current building, and attached to the back here in the 4.5 acres, you have an L-shaped complex. It's only 4 stories high. It's 128 1 and 2 bedroom suites. It's rental. It's independent living. There's a medical center attached to this complex. And of course, right across the street, you have the community center, and 30 yards at the front of this project, you have the Bala Fresh Mart. So there's all kinds of activity. And in this catchment area, we did an independent study 4 years ago. And at that time, there was a need for over 720 affordable units. And right now, that's probably doubled.
So what we're looking at here, this is the land. This is it. That's right here. It would literally be right here.
Right down to the fence and right across that L.
Perfect spot.
All of those spots behind, all of that land behind the arena.
Yep.
Right over to the Muskoka lumber. And that's it.
Dennis, you're working on it for 6 years, and I know that you've made a lot of progress. What is it ready to go any moment now? Like, what have you got accomplished so far?
Well, first of all, let me celebrate the local municipality of Muskoka.
Yeah. Because
they zoned this project in all 3 readings in one day. That is unprecedented.
Just like that. Yeah.
1, 2, and 3 readings. This project, Scott, is shovel ready.
Okay.
In other words, once we could get Canada Mortgage and Housing out of mothballs,
okay,
and get them behind us, then within 3 months we could have a shovel in the ground, and 9 months later we could have 128 units built here.
I'm really glad you mentioned the local municipality, because this is one of the things that I think is so important, is that all levels of government need to be working together to solve. This is a crisis across the country, and here in Muskoka, local municipalities and the District of Muskoka, they get it. They're ready to go, but they need the partnership with the federal government, and that's where we come in, and that's how we're going to get this done.
Well, Scott, you know, as you drive around your riding, the number of help wanted signs.
They're everywhere.
And one of the problems that we have up here is that people would love to come and work here, but they can't find a place to live.
It's true. It's one of the things that people don't understand about Muskoka in particular. They think that everyone's just rich and famous, and yet the people who live and work here year round are struggling. They're struggling, and one of the biggest struggles they have, frankly, is housing. So,
well, there's another thing too. I don't mind saying this. I mean, I'm the president here of the Bala Legion. I have been for 4 years, and we've been through a very difficult 2 years with COVID.
Yeah,
but it's tough for legions to survive in this atmosphere.
Right.
And one of the things that our legion has done because of our team, and we've done this successfully, our legion includes everybody from the community. We're almost like a mental health exercise center.
Really?
And the sustainability of our legion is critical for the whole community, not just our few veterans. And this project here will help sustain the Legion system.
It becomes the center of the community.
That's right.
Absolutely.
You know, I've worked on Parliament Hill for 20 years, 16 of them elected. And I have to say, one of the ways that you get things done is that you work in a bipartisan way. And I just want to say how pleased that I have been that our member of Parliament here in Muskoka, Parry Sound, Scott Aitchison, reached out to me after he got elected. And I know he went across the floor and spoke to members, some of them who I used to work with, to try and get this project done. And for the life of me, I'm mystified why it isn't approved and rolling. And I just want to make sure that Scott is there to continue this good work so that we can get this done. Because it's not just about our Legion, it's about the whole community in Muskoka, because affordable shelter for seniors, independent living, is critical to sustain all the other small and medium-sized businesses that are desperate for help in this community.
You know, standing here on the Bala Legion property, behind me, you can see this 4 acres of land that has been, you know, it's ready to go. It's ready to go. There's honestly the most dedicated community volunteers who've put their heart and soul into helping us solve a housing crisis that exists in Muskoka. I can give you all kinds of other examples. I could take you to other pieces of property all around Parry Sound and Muskoka. I can show you the same vacant land that community volunteers, private business, the local municipality, even the province is on board with and ready to help. And yet here we are, and we have gotten nowhere on a number of these projects. And, you know, I have no doubt that Justin Trudeau and his government cares, and they, you know, really want to help people. But if you can't get it done, then you don't deserve to be there. People are suffering all across Canada, and we cannot wait any longer.
You have been listening to The Life of a Servant, a Dennis Mills podcast. Visit dennismills.com for more information and archived episodes of this program.